Well, tēnā koutou again. Greetings and welcome to this, our second seminar in the series on private practice. And this one is focusing on marketing. My name is Sylvia Purdy, and Elton's joining us today to talk about websites and Google. And my cat has become a Klingon, so he's got the heater to sit in, but no, she just wants to be on me. I'd like to start as my karakia for today, a story told by Jesus. Jesus told these crazy stories with a sting in the tail, and this is a quirky one. So his story goes like this. One day, a family decided to turn on a great feast, a beautiful banquet, and so the homeowner put on this big feast, and he sent out his staff to invite all his neighbors to the feast. And one by one, they just turned him down. They just came up with these lame ass excuses as to why they couldn't come to the banquet. And then the staff came back to him saying, nobody's coming. What are we going to do? And he said, go out and get in all of the scruffy people, all of the not respectable ones, the lame and the maimed and the lepers and everybody else, just all the street people, bring them in. So his servants went out, brought them in, and then the householder realized that there were still places at his table, and so he sent his staff out to drag people kicking and screaming into the feast until the banqueting room was full. And I don't know about the compel part of it. That's Jesus being weird, I reckon. But I know what it feels like to have a table laid, to put on my best, and just put out that invitation to others to come. I know what it's like as a minister I put on a great program for families and children and sort of stand there at the door looking down the street, hoping that people might be coming and feeling really disappointed when they don't. So I've been really interested in the whole challenge of marketing for many years now, and I've done heaps of websites and signboards and flyers and Facebook posts and all kinds of things, because I think this is an ongoing challenge, and we've got a particular challenge when it comes to marketing counseling, and I'd like to talk about that now for a minute. Here we are, session 2, marketing. Did that already. I'm asking you to put in the chat links to websites, social media, or marketing that you've developed and want to share. So we'll just have a bit of a chat going for those on the call with some links of anything that you'd like to share. Okay, the complex challenge of marketing counseling. Here's the problem. Number one, we think counseling is wonderful and enjoyable, but most people out there see counseling as a failure, a desperation, a sign of if you need counseling, you have exhausted all other resources and you are a failure at that point. So this is one problem. We have this kind of fundamental gap between our expectations, our assumptions. So, this is how I think about counseling. I see counseling like maybe like a cooking class, learning and practicing skills. Maybe like sometimes counseling is like, whoo, it's a warm bath, a bubble bath, support and empathy and feeling better. Or maybe it's like a facial, just having someone's expert. I'm being a little humorous here. Please pick up on that. You may have your own, if you tried to describe counseling to someone who had no idea what it is, how would you feel? What is the emotions around it? But I would say that the general public sees counseling like this, as invasive, intrusive, excruciating, only for when the pain is unavoidably awful. So that creates a marketing challenge, a challenge of a gap in expectations. So number two, the problem is that this is what I find. People get sent to counselling. Just had a lady come today. People have been telling her for months that she should come to counselling. Finally, she's relented. Oh, and she's not very happy about walking in my door. Everyone thinks that someone else should go to counselling and that someone else should pay. The solution partly lies in us getting creative. Oh, cat is standing on my screen. Okay, I've got just some ideas for you for just to kick us off on our marketing topic today. Here are some ways to market counselling to bridge this kind of gap between whether people actually want it or not. Number one, become a supervisor. Supervision, I've found, has been easier to market because it's required and workplaces pay. You don't need to wait to be NZAC or NZCCA approved supervisor to start offering your services as a supervisor to community agencies. But this is really my main point for this morning. I think the challenge for us is to become subject matter experts and to really promote ourselves and market ourselves as that. So I think counselling, part of the problem with this counselling is that it's quite vague and general. So I think to market it well, we may need to, or at least one way to market is to choose an area in the field of mental health that you know something about, that you're passionate about, maybe you have some personal experience and you've got some community connections with. So, research it, interview people, write a book. If you want to write a book, come and talk to me. I've done that. It's kind of not as hard as you think. Create social media posts, push yourselves into speaking about it, taking advantage of public forums, maybe market it as specialist kind of topics, retreat days, trainings. Another thing I think we have to do to market is to grow our partnerships with community agencies and organisations. So it might be your local residents association. It might be a retirement village complex. It might be a kind of some specialist health groups, conservation groups, sports groups. New Zealand has the highest per capita in the world of organisations. We do organisations in New Zealand, and all of those have mental health challenges. Every organisation in New Zealand has mental health challenges. So how can we as counsellors enter those spaces, be where people are, normalise conversations around mental health and our services that we can offer, and explore how to get paid in the process. Two more ideas. I think we need to be a little surprising, a little offbeat, special promotions. I'm challenging you to develop a visual identity for your practice. Maybe work with artists and musicians, experiment. And lastly, form a group. I think there is a power in us working together with allied health professionals, working together with other counsellors, to sharing research the gaps in your local area. And my last slide here is I'm really curious as to anyone has used directory listings. So I'd love you to put in the chat if you've got an experience yourself of these three that I'm aware of. There may be more in New Zealand. These are paid counselling directories. I think some of them are international, and I think Talking Works might just be a New Zealand one, but I really don't know. I'd love to have your experience on that. So we're going to go into breakout rooms now. So do share about that, what other kinds of marketing you have been doing yourself, whether you recommend any of these directories. I'd love to know. Talking Work, Psychology Today, therapy, counselling, and I do personally use some of the supervision directories that are available. So if you want to know about those, let me know. There we go. Cool. Well, we're all good on track now, but yeah, I'm going to, while you're in breakout rooms, I'm going to read all the chat. I'm fascinated. Let's have a talk time now. I think this is a really important part of this program, that we're connecting with each other. My questions for you, well, there's a range of things you could talk about. If you're getting anywhere with your business plan, have you got anything resembling a marketing plan already? What kind of marketing have you been using, and what have you been finding effective? And like there's this other thing we'll talk about a bit before we finish today, is the emotional side of marketing. Like, I found marketing just so hard work emotionally. Like, it just feels really vulnerable putting myself out there. It doesn't now. I'm kind of over that. But I have been working quite hard at it for quite a long time. But I only had like a certain amount of capacity for marketing, and then I'll just like get knackered. It just feels vulnerable to put yourself out there. So yeah, just how do we coach ourselves and get support for ourselves to just stretch our capacity to market ourselves? Okay, I should have been organizing the breakout rooms while I did that. Let's go with, there we go, 50, right, 16 breakout rooms. Great. So 10, or we'll come back at past.
Sorry, Sylvia, can you remind us of the prompt for the time in the breakout rooms?
1:30.
Sorry, the prompt, the thing we're talking about.
The thing we're talking about is how you're going with the course so far, and what kind of marketing have you already tried, and how effective has that been? So just sharing some experience around marketing generally.
Cool. Thank you.
I had a bit of a, I had an issue with my audio, so I had to turn my computer on and off to get the audio on Zoom working. Sorry, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm so sorry about that.
No, why Sylvia's here so she can actually.
Yes, I'm here. You got me, yay. I was just asking about what kinds of marketing you have tried already and how effective has it been?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, Seb.
Oh, well, okay, I'll start since I don't have a lot. Well, I've advertised myself on the Psychology Today website.
Oh, okay.
I've made my own website, but I haven't really found ways to, link it. And I've also bought some business cards. I was thinking of looking into advertising on TikTok or something.
TikTok.
I don't, yeah, I don't know. Also worked on a Facebook page. I guess, yeah, it is kind of really hard to put yourself out this, especially when you don't, I'm sort of a recentish graduate. Yeah, I guess I just thought I'd look kind of silly on Facebook, sort of advertising myself to my community, friends and family, but so it's sort of a mental hurdle I have to get over, really.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah. How about you, Nancy?
So for me, I did the same. I have a business card in Psychology Today, but because what I've done, I've been a private practice fully for the last year, and yes, struggled a little bit with the paying clients, but I fully went into ACC sensitive claims. So what I do is I have what they call an ACC navigator.
Mm.
So I have a good relationship with her, and I say, look, I've got a Tuesday at 10 o'clock free. So she goes and she scans and she comes and say, yeah, got consent from the client, here's the details, please contact them. So
Mm.
she does all the work for me, and for her, she's definitely happy because this is her job, is to actually match counselors with people who are asking. And so it has been really good. In the last year, I haven't had any gaps,
Wow.
which was really great. But yeah, yesterday my church approached me and they said, "Oh, Nancy, we knew that you're a counselor. Would you like your name to put in our, recommended counselors for the church?" My church is like 2,000 people and 6 campuses. It's a very big church. So I felt like, oh, maybe that could be something to give back to the church, to offer like a discounted sessions or free sessions for some of the church members that are struggling,
Mm.
because I have a Monday off just for admin, and I don't have a lot of admin thanks to Heidi. She's helping me a lot with all the, kind of notes taking and things. I have a lot of time, which is great. I could offer back to the church in that sense. So yeah, private practice, I find it quite hard. That's why I kind of tend to avoid it and went through ACC sensitive claim as a fully private there. But they want to know who I am, so I keep Psychology Today just for them to go and check out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Folks, I've had a couple of people join my main room, so I'm going to leave this breakout room. If you want to come back and join me, you'll have to just leave the room and then come back into the main room, and then you can come and meet the others that have just come in. So either you can just talk the two of you, or you can jump back in to the main one.
Sure.
I had to reconnect. Okay,
Recording. It does certainly seem to be a theme that's emerging in this, is that if you are willing to engage in the ACC process of trauma counselling, you will not be short for work, and there is a reasonable pay requirement around, provision around that. So it's those of us that have decided to not go into ACC that creates more of a marketing challenge. Okay, well, thank you for those that put their websites in the chat. That's half a dozen there. And just to summarize the chat about TalkingWorks, six of you are using TalkingWorks. 6 of you are using Psychology Today, and all of you seemed happy with those, but it was a no vote for therapy counseling. Okay. That's really interesting. So back to the so that's one way to avoid having your own website, is to use a directory where you're provided with a page online, and no doubt those websites have all of the technical support. But if we're doing our own private website, this is where Elton comes in. So Elton, you're on now. Elton, are you based in Greytown?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
How are you helping?
How you going? So I'm not based in Greytown anymore. I'm based in Marston. I've got an office in Marston, Queen Street. So I have been in practice now. I'm a graphic designer and web designer, and also an illustrator. I've been in practice now, graduated in 2000 from Victoria Design School. I spent a year at the Evening Post as doing layout work and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I got career-wise, I got a job at Learning Media, which is a educational publishing house, or was. Doing things like school journals and ready-to-read books, and as an art editor, so I worked with a lot of illustrators. I was there for 8 years, and after that 8 years, even though it was a great job, I found I was doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, and I really wanted to just. My big thing, this is why I left. There's a couple of things going on. I had little boy, who was about 4 years old at the time. I was commuting over to Wellington, and then kind of thinking, oh, this is not a fun life. Like, I want to spend more time with my son. And then also, just found myself doing the same thing over and over again. Sure, I enjoyed doing it, but I wanted some more challenges. I really wanted to have different clients. Like, I liked the idea of being able to work for anyone. So I left, and like as many freelancers leave, you kind of take a lot of work with you. So first few years I kept on doing the educational design work. But over that time, I've built up quite a decent client base, like all sorts of clients from and all over the country. I've got a few clients in the States, a number in Australia, from plumbers to psychologists to tradespeople, like So I've basically, it's been fun. It's been a huge learning curve. I'm constantly learning. It's an interesting job. It's a type of job where you have to keep up with the pace of the change and technology change and things like that. So anyway, what makes a good website? So what I'm going to do is hopefully share my screen with you guys. I'm very unfamiliar with Zoom, so I hope this works. So you've got a little share icon here. Screens. Right. I suppose I do. Do I go entire screen, desktop, share that? Oh. Yeah, I'm very really unfamiliar with Zoom.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky.
Do you know how well, the application's below to record the content of a screen audio. Oh, Zoom us. Okay. Sorry.
You can flick you can put the if it's a website, you can put it in your in the chat. And
oh yeah, well, what I might do is I might just go through it.
Participant sharing is muted, so you have to enable sharing.
Oh yeah.
I did make him co-host, so he should be
okay,
able
that should
to
do it.
share.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's just a bit confusing when you
enable
get
sharing.
to enable sharing.
Down the bottom.
Oh yeah, here we go. Zoom us may not be able to record the contents of your screen until it's quit. Oh, I don't know if I want to quit it later.
Just the button down the bottom, share screen, and see if it's enabled that you can do it.
Yeah. I'll try it again, but oh, here we go. Share. Here we go. So you're seeing my screen now?
Yes,
Yep.
well done.
Brilliant. All right. Hello. Okay. So, so can you see that? So what we're going to talk about initially, this is what makes a good website. So one of the things I try and do with any client is to build this site with what I call social proofing, and that's basically providing evidence, and particularly visual evidence, that your company or your profession, you're to be trusted. You've given enough evidence, and I like to really work closely with clients and try and learn about their business. So when someone comes, so their SEO has done everything correctly, and you've finally got a client to the site, that the site provides ample evidence that you know what you're doing. It's not just and testimonials don't really just cover it. You want to put in quite a lot of stuff. So for example, this is this is a panel beater client of mine. Marston Auto Bodies have been around for a long time, since 1971. All right, so this will just try and count how much social proofing is on it. So first, 1971, that's great, been around for a long time. And then as we scroll down the site, so more evidence comes up. So we've got the Mazda Authorized Collision Repair Center, Suzuki Authorized Collision Repair Center, Holden, and so this is the sort of stuff I've kind of, and their older site, they didn't have all this on here, but I was like, this is really important to, like all these authorizations from Mitsubishi and Hyundai, that's you've got to like give them evidence that you know what you're doing.
Elton, can you just scroll up just a tiny bit so we can
Yeah.
read some of that text?
Yeah.
Because that is, so that bit in red, that's exactly what we were talking about last time, was in terms of our business plan.
Yeah.
The business plan really pushes us to create this kind of one-liner. I love that. Our focus is always on delivering excellent quality, but it's a little bit harder to put counseling into a one-liner. So I think that's part of what people have been working on, is how to do like that sort of sentence.
Yeah,
And yeah.
The other thing, Sylvia, is we've got to keep in mind is people are really lazy. They've got very bad attention, spans of attention.
Yeah.
And anything like that where you can put it in visually, like it's likely that someone will read this, but they won't
Yeah.
read that. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is often what I do is I'll work out, okay, what really sums you up on a thing, and
What
I'll
really sums you
break
up?
that
Yes.
in, you know. And as you scroll down the site, then you've got preferred repairer for most main insurance companies, including, so these are all the guys that, basically this is called assurance. Like, all these insurance companies work with them, and there's a lot. And
So for us, an equivalent might be, we could even put the little logo of where we trained, the university
Exactly,
or
yeah.
the college or something, or just to
Yeah.
kind of highlight any credentials that we do have, and any kind of membership. So to do that visually is an interesting point, actually.
Yeah.
Like you could, if you're with the NZAC, you can actually just screenshot, back to my screenshot theme, the NZAC logo and just plump that
Yeah.
in there.
So look, you could say this in text. You could say all of this in text, but it's probably not going to be read. If you can show it
Visual,
visually, like that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. If that's what I do, I show it visually, and visually will come up, and then we scroll down more. There's some more evidence. Collision Repair Association, the license with them. That's what the license under. Keep going down. They're also proudly certified. Sometimes also it can be what awards, there's sometimes different awards that you've won as well, sort of thing, and then testimonials. So then the testimonials kind of come last. So it's not just testimonials when you're trying to like give evidence and proof of what you're doing. So now I've got another site here which is kind of a little bit more similar to on the same ilk. So this is Wendy's site, and she's doing really well. Like I bought the site about a year ago. She's getting decent traffic through it. She's getting a lot of clients. She's high up in Google in the area. She's not having to market at all because the site's working really well. And all she has to do is spend money on hosting the site, and that's it.
So just going back to this SEO thing, people might not know what we mean by SEO, but that's exactly what Elton said. That is search engine optimization.
Yeah.
So there are ways to ensure that a website is functioning well, and part of the challenge of marketing on the internet, a key bit, is working out what people might search for. And then having those kind of key phrases, being really clear as to what kinds of would you say what kinds of things people are searching?
That's right, yeah. So also what you may find with different people who do similar things that I do, you'll get some people that I can get you on the first page of Google. So if anyone ever says that to you, they are liars. They can't. They have no control over Google. And any meeting that I have with the first stages of a meeting that I have with a client, I sit them down and I say, I cannot guarantee that I can get you on the first page of Google. There's a whole bunch of things come into it, but what I can do is I can do everything properly. And what you'll find is if you do everything properly, a lot of the time your competition isn't, and that's when you can position yourself better. So Wendy's site, for example, this is another one. It's just so for her, this is someone who's going to be talking to your children, So what we found important, so for a panel beater, I'm not going to include the photo of a panel beater. It's not, the dirty overalls or a mechanic in the dirty overalls. But look, someone who's going to be talking to your children, they like someone going to the site, oh yeah, she looks nice. I'd let her talk to my most important creation ever, kind of thing, So I've included a photo of Wendy here, and that's more social proofing. She doesn't look crazy. Great. Yeah, okay, she can talk to my child. And then we've got a little bit about her. And again, what I've done with here was what I try and do is I try and condense information. So you could in your website, this is what you want to avoid doing. You want to avoid giving people screeds and screeds of text that is just not going to be read. But what you want to do is give them a bite. And then if they want to find out more, so I'm a registered blah, 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 and talks about where she's done. It's just a little bite. It's only going to take 20 seconds to read. People want to find out more. They click the find out more button. This pops up. And if they want to, it's there if people want to engage with it more. And then as we went through it, I worked out, okay, she's what's her education? So she's got a master's degree in educational psychology, registered with New Zealand Psychology Board and 15 plus years experience. And these are all her assessments sort of thing. So this just gives more evidence. On my own site, evidence-wise, I've put in different clients I've worked with, things like that. So that's what you want to do. You're wanting on your homepage, in particular, you're wanting to push as much, right? It's basically a CV. Like you're trying to give as much evidence as you can that you know what you're doing. So, for example, I'll just take you through. This is one I'm working on at the moment. Who, interesting enough, is another educational psychologist who's in Auckland, and I worked with her and just worked out. Once I worked with her, started getting gleaning some information from her. She had quite a substantial educational background, and that sort of stuff's important. You work towards it and put it on there. But you can see how it's visual. And it's also got where she's registered under, all that sort of stuff. What I'd be for you guys, because you're not really, if you're more counselors, you may get reviews. But because of the confidentiality of your trade, it's probably unlikely. Do you know what I mean? It's harder for a counsellor to get a decent review than say a plumber or myself. I find it reasonably easy to get reviews.
Just a note for the video, there's been quite a lot of chat in the chat around about it being unethical in our organisational membership to actively ask for testimonials.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point, that because of the power imbalance and the confidentiality things that people could leave feedback if they wanted to. Like I do get some through EAP. EAP asks people for a comment on their counsellor, but I can't myself ask for a written feedback from my
Yeah,
viewers.
for my own practice, like what I do is I don't kind of I look for a doorway in for reviews. So if a client sort of emails me, oh hey, thanks, this is really cool. I'm getting work through it and all that sort of stuff. Then that's my doorway. Oh, that's great. And I can send them a Google for Business link, and would you mind doing your review? And that helps a lot. I don't know I'm not sure, Sylvie, what the rules are. But if I do know that you can go on Google for Business and things like that, and people can leave reviews if they want to. I don't know if there's any rules, like why that would be a bad thing or whatever. Anyway, so right, yeah, where are we now? Okay, so the main thing with the website, and this is what I see all the time. So there's a number of things I do. I build sites from scratch, but also I rescue websites that are in trouble that aren't coming up on Google at all. And I like on page 9, and the client's working out why. So I'll often go into this site, and I've seen some absolute horrors. So you've got to imagine a website's like a vehicle. A vehicle's not going to run if the engine's been stripped out and the carburetor's not there. You know what I mean? So yeah, the car might look fantastic, but if all that background stuff is not in there, you're not really going to help yourself much. So in the background of a site, I won't look at this one. I'll find another one. Still. I'll open up Still. So what you're wanting to do, and this is like and there's multiple Wix, there's Squarespace, but they'll all have the same sort of structure where you can add in information into every single page. So you're wanting to actually go through every single page on your site and fill this in. And a lot of the time, what I'm saying is like even on the home page, this hasn't been done. So for example, each site will have a title tag. It'll have a meta description, which is this in here. It'll have this is this where you put the socials image sort of thing, and importantly, so what's happening now is it's not just Google, it's also people are searching for sites under like different AI systems. So they'll be actually asking questions like who's a good count. My daughter's having issues, blah blah blah, and they'll get quite detailed with the question. Who's a good counselor for PTSD or something like that, in the North Shore area or whatever, and they'll get so it's that AI system will search the thing and come up with some solutions. So that's kind of AI's changed the game a little bit, but you've got to imagine that AI, like Google, is still kind of they're a very wealthy company. They've created their own AI systems as well. They won't give up their slice of the pie easily. So if the site, so it's even as an older site and it was well before all this AI stuff, AI still be searching for relevance and things like that. It's basically looking for relevance, So what I do is as well as I'll create schema data, so I can in your own site. So sometimes some of you would have created your own site. So there's actually I can send you some links where you can like build this code yourself. just by filling in a form, and the site will create that specific code. So this basically gives the AI systems a lot more information about each and every page. And as you see, like on this site here, for every single page I've done, I've made sure that each page has this schema added into it. And what else? So as well, I'll add provide any social links as well. So for example, on here, I'll make sure that the site's got social links and things like that. And I'll also create the sitemap, and this little bit here, down here, that's the code that basically links to, there's two things happening there. There's a Google tag which links to Google Search Console, which I'll be talking about next. And then we've got also an analytics, some code as well. So everything's kind of tracked. The big thing is what you want to do. You want to do everything that Google wants you to do. That's the important thing.
I think the point that I'd want to add in is that we can do a lot ourselves these days with these different websites that are really quite easy to use functionally. But I've wanting to, I guess, I promote your services, Elton, but also there's a bunch of others doing similar stuff around the country. But because we do just really need some of that technical expertise. Like if we're going to pay for something, that would be the thing I'd recommend paying for, is technical expertise to make sure that our website particularly is working well and well for us. So particularly when I moved from Christchurch up to Upper Hutt, and I was like starting from scratch with marketing, I did look at quite a lot of options. I went to a marketing consultant, and like they were going to charge me $500 a month just to like manage it, and then paying for Facebook ads and Google ads and stuff on top of that. You can be spending just such a lot of money. Oh my gosh. And there is some things, like I have done paid Google ads occasionally, and Facebook, if you've got a Facebook post that you're really proud of and you want to expand your reach into your local area, then boosting a Facebook post could be worth a couple of $100 just to give it a try and see what happens, just as a one-off, and just try it out. So there's some of these different options as to what really is most effective, and it does come back to our marketing plans, our business plans. What are we trying to achieve? What kinds of traffic? But getting someone professional to just flick over a website to make sure that all the links are working well.
Definitely, that's what I do. So the other really important thing, and also you can kind of check it yourself. So someone's designed your website and you get access to the back, and you just want to make sure that all that's been done, and if it hasn't been done, you go back to them and go, mate, you haven't done your job. Do it again, fix it. Because there is a proper way of doing this stuff. So again, the other thing I do with the site, so once the site's ready to go up and launch, I'll put it onto what I call it's Google Search Console, and so any site has to be hit for you want any website to go onto here, and this is all free to do. Okay, and it's just like you just go on there and you put the site in, grab a little bit of code, put it on your site. If you don't know how to do that, you get someone like me to do it. It doesn't take that long to do. So the good thing about this is it also can test the site as well. So I'll also put on the server, I'll put on a sitemap, which is like a little XML bit of code which tells Google how many pages are on the site and what those pages do. But the great thing about this is, and you can, if you get a site built and you want kind of make sure that it's all right, you can ask, can I get access to Google Search Console, and your designer can give it to you. If they don't give it to you, jump up and down about it. But in here, you go into here, which is Core Web Vitals, and you can go into this here, which is a page speed index, and this will tell you a whole bunch of really important stuff. So this will basically tell you if the site has been done properly. I actually, here it is here. Anyway, so this is for a site that I got up last. This is Store Shop Greytown. So you got a whole bunch of different things in here. This is called agentic browsing. So this like tracks to make sure that the site can be browsed, and there's nothing kind of stopping and preventing AI from searching the site. So that's a really key important one. What you're looking at here, this is a good score. So any website that I'll get up, I'll pull it through this, and often I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, well, that's not quite right, and I'll just tweak certain things. Some things I'll leave if it's fine, but like you're wanting like a SEO score of 100. Best practices is 100. Accessibility is really interesting. So Google wants the accessibility is like, can the site be read by a blind person or visually impaired person, a whole bunch of other things. So Google want to create an internet where anybody can look at it and read it, sort of thing. So yeah, so see this in here, it's got a score of 96. The only reason, what was it? The only reason, background and foreground colors do not have sufficient contrast ratio.
Oh, it does get all very technical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that Elton sends me like monthly updates and stuff. And if I was having any trouble, I could go back to him. So, I'd recommend you find someone like Elton or use him yourself if you wanted to make sure that a website is working well. We are kind of out of time, Elton, but if you wouldn't mind sticking around in a minute after we wrap up,
no worries.
Then people might have some more questions for you.
I'll just show one last thing.
Yeah.
So the last thing is you want to hook your site up to analytics as well, and that'll give you a whole bunch of. So that's really important. So particularly if you're advertising or whatever, you want to make sure your advertising is working okay. It'll sort of give you information about bounce rates and all the rest of it and things like that. And so that's really crucial you get on there too.
Yeah. Except, we're just not trained in this stuff, Elton, and it gives me a bit of a headache. Too much data and complexity. And I imagine some in the room are starting to zone out a little bit with numbers and graphs and stuff, because that's not our trade. But it's such a great challenge to be just living in the world, in the space where AI people are coming with, when they get, like, going back to my sort of initial slide, when people get to that point where the pain level is high and they think, I really need to find a counselor, we want to make that easy for them, and we want to make us pop up as they're asking their telephone where to go. We want to be in the mix.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Don't go away, stick around. Can you just stop screen share
for a
minute?
Okay, so I go.
Should be a red stop share button. On your Zoom
share. Right, there we go. Button. Yep.
Great. I had one more slide to show you. There it is, the search engine optimization. Yay. And that's Elton's contact details. I will be emailing you those. This is my last page here about social media. Just a last minute, but it's 2:00, so if you need to go, feel free. That's fine. Our next one will be on ethics. Yay! which will be interesting. Some of those questions in the chat around what happens if clients meet, do we need a waiting area, how do we advertise? Some of those are ethical questions, and we will come back to those next time. But my challenge to you is to do some more thinking about what you need to do for marketing. What are some next steps that you could take just this year, and what might you put in the perhaps you could tackle next year category? So that's what a marketing plan might include. Last slide, social media. Most of us use social media to some degree. It can be very effective, can be low cost or no cost at all. With social media, we generally have both our private page and a business page, and we've had some discussion today about whether we post things about our counselling on our private page, so we can make a post and share it across, or we can, so that's a distinction. I personally recommend a plan that involves writing a post every 2 weeks. Social media, the whole function of it is that it has to be fresh and new. So something, either a visual image or 1-minute videos are fantastic. That gets, someone mentioned TikTok earlier. The whole kind of short video thing is definitely a format that people love that material. And if we can be saying cool and interesting things about mental health, then go for it. Love to see you try. It's another challenge for the next 2 weeks. Make yourself a little video. There's lots of groups, and the groups is one of the main ways that we can use Facebook for marketing, particularly if you're going local. What's your local groups in your own suburbs, residence groups? There's lots of those out there. There's this fascinating line in social media between professional and private. And we've got to keep a real personal feel to it. As Elton was saying before, people want to see your face. They want to feel like they can relate to you as a person. And at the same time, they don't necessarily want to know what you had for breakfast. So I don't know, we have to work that out for ourselves, I think, how we get that mix right for social media. I am suggesting to you today that you just figure out how to be an expert in your field, and social media just kind of gives you that space to promote yourself as an expert. And as we've already mentioned, it's very visual based, more so than text. Obviously Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and I'm curious as to whether there are any other social media platforms that you are exploring, especially for particular target groups. I'm told that young people aren't really using these anymore, that they're onto other spaces. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know. There we are. That was our session today. Feel free to take off or hang around and unmute yourself and ask questions. I'm going to turn off the video.